I didn't want no more work.
Yeah, here we are at the art gallery. Here's the art. And here's the art. It's all good. Anyway, I'm at a place where I can go live in the chat. So it's about 2:55. I got a good hour to kill, give or take. It's been raining really hard. Just came to get out of the rain. Well, have a cup of coffee, slice of Mimi's pie. Watched a little of the news on the CNN, Fox, MSNBC. They're all the same. It's like, and hey, Aaron, how you doing, buddy? You on the road? Where are you at? What part of the West are you driving through or around or by? What's the most interesting thing you've seen on the road in the last week? Amarillo. Like, I don't have any teeth to pronounce. Amarillo. That's how we do. Amarillo. Amarillo. What's a rillo? It's not like a gorilla, but it's got scales. Kind of like a aardvark gorilla. Anyway, so Aaron, what's the most interesting thing you've seen on the road? You ever have the close encounters experience? You know, it's getting longer. This is never coming back. A little more cafe when you got the time there, darling. So this is tonight is all you can eat fish, right?
Not all you can eat any longer.
No, okay.
Not any longer.
No more.
Change companies and fish is pretty
Traditions change. Yep. You didn't get the fish from China, right? It's not because of the. No. That was a joke, kind of. Kind of a joke. Almost a joke. Everything. Everything's a joke. Yes. No.
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 I don't think so.
No.
You're correct.
That's what my friend was saying. Everything was a joke. I don't think everything's a joke. I take a lot. I think the most serious thing I take is other people's feelings.
There you go.
Anyway, so I've been reading a lot. And, there's a guy who is there's a great book. I'm just kind of thumbed through at the. I go to whenever I go into Johnson City, I go to the bookstore there, and they have nice cushy seats, and you can get a nice free cup of coffee. And so I go there and I read the books I'm not going to buy. And we went from pinkish to bluish. Anyway, I was reading a book called Trumpland, which is that's a very good book. The guy who wrote that did a very good job of telling the history of it. The thing he just kind of glances over it is a guy named James M. Buchanan, who is a Nobel laureate economist. And his whole theory of economy was the chips should fall where they may. And what he meant by that is that rich people shouldn't get taxed to pay for old people or poor people's, welfare, social security, health care. If they can't save for any of that, then they shouldn't have it. And Mr. Koch picked this guy up in the 60s after this guy was kind of instrumental in building a non racial um, explanation of why Virginia should just stop educating its citizens. When the Supreme Court said black and white kids need to be integrated in public schools, that's when the state of Virginia closed all its public schools and kind of had them, you know. So if he didn't have money, and then he got the rich people to get vouchers from the federal government to pay for private schools, and the private schools were built, or basically the state of Virginia had a fire sale and sold all its public schools to these nonprofit entities that became all white schools. Hey, plug nuts. Get rid of the fish. Yep. And it's frozen and it comes from China. So it's tariff. It's no longer. It used to be all you could eat fish, and now, which is basically all you could eat is maybe two pieces. Now you're only gonna get one. So, and things like that. The people who used to own this place, Richard and Caroline, they did things like that to have good faith, in the public that was here, because it's a very small community here. And the guy bought it. He's doing okay. He's trying. He's still kept the same staff here, so same cooks are here, so the food is basically still good. And but he put in an art gallery. That's kind of cool. And he's also got ice cream. He's got like a little ice cream shop over there. And it's all good. What can I say? So I come here because it has good Wi-Fi. He did do that. He put the good Wi-Fi in. Still, I can't go, make a phone call here. Ooh. Anyway, 7 minutes and 47 seconds. So what happened in your week, Uncle Fugnuts? I asked Aaron, the truck driver, what interesting, amazing things has he seen on the highway, and he said everything. So either, how many? It's two of you, Aaron and Uncle Fugnuts. Have either of you guys had a close encounter? I've had strange encounters. I met all kinds of dimensional characters and time travelers and extraterrestrials, but they would like walk in from stage right. They didn't bring in their craft. Or they were like Doctor Who, just came out of a closet, or an armoire. So, it's hard for me to, let's say, what is that? Everything is amazing. Yeah. Aaron, you are so true on that. I mean, I'm living out in the woods and everything is amazing. Meaning I kind of sit in my chair and look down in this little, what I love, I have these buttercup little flowers in my hill. And when the sun hits them early in the morning, like around 9:30, let's see, the sun comes up over the mountain, the sun hits them, they open up and are yellowish, right? And soon as 4:30, 5 o'clock, and the sun goes down, or it's a cloudy day, the little buttercup just closes right up. Now it looks like it's dead. But as soon as the sun hits it, bingo, it opens right up. And it's being a photocell, And that's the beauty of my little hill, my little deep green. is when I got it, I was planning to build a house on it. So I kind of found a excavator who at moments would have time on his hands, and if he was had his equipment in the neighborhood, he would come over and we would scoop a little of this, push a little of that, take down a few trees here, until we, took about a whole summer to get. And it's, because I had a lot of time. He didn't do it all at once, real fast, blah blah blah. You know, he'd come back. So, oh well, let's do this, let's do that. I'd read something about this or that. So that's why I put French drains in everywhere. So, I live on this hill where the water, when it rains real hard, whoa. But because I have the drainage so wired in, it's not. I mean, a couple weeks ago we had 4 inches of rain um, in 1 hour, and my next door neighbor, top of his house, washed away because he's on right in the middle of this hill, and instead of opening it up, he wanted to like have his house like it was a tree house. So it was a big rock, and instead of putting his house, you know, above the big rock, all the water came down the hill, hit that big rock, and shot like a fire hose right off the big rock into this gigantic window he had put to look at the big rock. And it's, really pretty. But now what happened was a whole river came right off this big rock and went right through his window into his living room and blew out the backside of his nice little house. And because our little county has no building department, one of the nice things is nobody can tell you what to do here. But that means you can't get any insurance unless you get an outside engineer to like put his stamp on it, which this guy didn't do. And so there I was sitting watching, until the water just came straight down, went into my ground, and then hit the French drains, and then went into the stream, and then went off the property. No muss, no fuss. Within 2 hours, the sun came out, and everything was dry. I went up to, I heard my neighbor screaming and yelling and jumping up and down. I went, and he was like 4 football fields away through the woods. I kind of drove over to see him. That's even though he's only 4 football fields this way, the drive there is maybe 2 miles. So I drove over to see him. And it was like and the water was still flying off that rock, going through his house, taking the back parts of his house away. And that's like our life. Our life is like that. You can either semi-prepare, you can never be safe, you can never prepare for everything, but you can have, somewhat of a, okay, this could happen or this might happen, and you kind of prepare for that. So, anything. 13 minutes and 27 seconds. So there's 3 of us here. So, and that's where we are right now. Our present administration is, being run by the hidden hand. And the beauty, this is a psychologist called, he's French, Leconte, and he's way back in the day. And, Freud said everything's sex. Jung said everything is, the collective unconscious. And Lacan said everything that you are projecting is, you're going to it's who you are. You know what your problem is? My problem, right? So that's kind of the story. Our boy is, so he's got a little water problem over there. So that's the beauty of a wet and dry vacuum cleaner. Yep. Anyway. You spotted, you got it. That's right. And exactly, you spotted, you got it. So, as Donny Boy goes on, he is just the distractor in chief. And the people his minions are out there in the administration throwing sand in the gears. Not to say that our government was the best, but it's like this patchwork. It's like a quilt, right? And the other thing about the history of America, it's kind of like a weather vane. The wind blows this way, we kind of go this way. The wind blows that way, we kind of go that way. And Gandhi, every all his misogyny, all his everything that he is, I wouldn't even say it's what he is because he don't even know what he is. But as BB put it so succinctly, and I love that BB. If you spot it, you got it, right? So Donald is going to be historically remembered as the man who had put the last nail in the coffin of white supremacy. I've been reading. I talked about him yesterday. He was Margaret Mead's mentor, and there was this crew of anthropologists between 1912 and 1950 out of Columbia, who basically, up until then, um, the powers that shouldn't be kept saying, white people are at the top of the heap. We are smarter, we're better. God made us to be in charge. That's why we should have slaves. That's what our founding fathers here in America basically said. And women are inferior. Everybody else but us are inferior, so we should rule the roost. So and within a very short time, if we survive all this, we the weather vane will turn the other way, and we will become, everything that the guys who are upset, are. It's what it's going to become. That's what America does all the time, and that's because the powers that shouldn't be. That's how they stay in power. They stay in the background. They give money to everybody. There's a great book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy by Gary Allen. Basically says left, right, two wings of the same plutocratic corporate bird. So, that's where it is. Yeah, those drive backs, they were great. I love drive backs. So we're in a very interesting time. I keep talking about this window of opportunity of the next 17 months. And it takes the little pebble into the pond of the cadre, right? All of you out there should, talk to everyone you meet, you know, bring up the subject that most people are semi-uncomfortable, but in a nice way. Like here, I talk to everybody really nice. They like me. I've been doing this for 20 years, but I talk about all of the issues of gender, class, sex, environment, all of it, right? But in a way that everyone can go, instead of, I hate that guy. Now, there are certain people who I just push their buttons to, I hate that guy. I am like, my second wife was like Tweety Pie, a little sweet thing. Everyone thought, you know, but she could like, I showed her a few Aikido moves and she would do this to people. They would like try to be, touchy feely. And there's a way to grab the thumb and turn it the way it was designed to put you into the maximum pain. I mean, it'll cause you to flip over and go on the ground. And this little cute thing who would be dressed to the nines in these like, 12-inch high heels, someone would be inappropriate to her. She'd, look at them, just take their hand and do that little move I showed her. And they'd be on the ground screaming and crying. And it usually was in a social sense where this big man who thought he was a big man was being, tortured physically by this amazingly dressed, gorgeous woman in really high heels. And she'd just be holding his hand. There were about 20 points in our bodies. All you got to do is simple little push, and they get very upset. So anyway, if you spot it, you got it. So, and you also have to realize that it's not just America or Russia or this country or that. Our world is run by the hidden hand, and it's a transnational entity that doesn't care about making America great or Russia great or anybody great. It's about their control over everything. So, it's up to us to be the sympathetic, empathetic human being, keeping our hearts open to love's co creation. It's not about violence, not about mean, not about pushing, not about any of those things. Um, it's about being sympathetic. And that's what I do. No matter where anyone's coming from, I'm trying to understand where they're coming from. Because it's a lot easier to do that than to try and fight somebody. Fighting is a useless endeavor. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch base before. I think it might even be clearing. I hope it's clearing. And I'm going to leave for a second. You guys enjoy the art. Take a good look at the art there. Enjoy the art. I'll be back. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Get it. Anyway, here I am. I'm back again. Uh, hey, gang. Why doesn't everyone talk to Yo-Yo here and just tell him how much we love him? That it's okay. Even whether he's carbon or silicon, it's okay. We love you. We love you, Yo-Yo. We love you. We love you, Yo-Yo. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Yo-Yo. So come on through. You must have more to say. Yo-Yo. Break away from all that hate, from all that fear, from all that self-loathing you project. And I don't think that's you, Yo-Yo. It isn't. Come on. Come on, everybody. Tell Yo-Yo he's okay. Uh, Go on, gang. I'm going to read the newspaper while you talk to Yo-Yo. Uh, uh,
Let's begin with the president going all in today on his claim that American Jews who vote for Democrats are, in his words, very disloyal to Israel and the Jewish people. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, this is a very tired, old anti-Semitic trope that I hope wouldn't be used again, much less by the President of the United States.
one of the nice things about John Birmingham is that at least John is John. I mean, yeah, it changes all the time. It flitters, but and if you go and watch John's videos of the last few weeks, there's one where he's like communing with the neighbor's dog, and it's so sweet. And there's another one where the dogs are there and the ducks are there, and John's just being his sweet self, you know. And you know, that's really if humanity just was its sweeter self. I mean, humanity is basically a honey bun because if we weren't our sweet self, we wouldn't be here. We just we wouldn't be here. And it's just that you know cartoon of Daffy Duck where he's got the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. If we just choose to be our better selves, that's where it can go. We love you, Yo-Yo. We do. And John really is a funny guy. I mean, he is like of all the interesting comedians in the early 20th century in films. Abbott and Costello, Jerry Lewis, um, you know, Gracie, um, all the Marx Brothers. They had this level of subtlety within the craziness of their total out there-ness, right? And so, um, and so that's what, and John says and does things that are hilarious, really deep, cut straight to what's really going on in a metaphorical way, almost like in a Japanese haiku. And someday he will, people will look at his stuff and go, "Wow, he was an amazing genius," It is. His laugh is hilarious. And he's got a lot of different ones. I mean, he's got all these different personalities. But I wish he would just, he could be like the soupy sales of the 21st century. And it would be fun to see him try. I'm trying to get him to, it's no getting John to do anything. But John doesn't really prank. I mean, he's, the thing about John, what's interesting and endearing is that he's serious about everything he talks about. He's not, doing it as a prank. He's actually there. He's living it. I used to be part of the HB studios over in New York City, over on 10th Street, give or take. Bank Street really was where it was. But, Uda Hagen and Herbert Berghoff, and, I was their technical guy, but I took their acting courses because they were free. Yeah, I took their directing courses because they were free, and they were great, helped me to learn how to do a lot of other stuff. And so, John is not pranking anything. He's pretty much straight up what he is. And that was, the key to acting in that school is being real to what you're doing, that window, like, Madonna, Vogue. And that's, that song was a great song because it was in one song gave total props to the whole interesting dance scene that was in New York. So there was like the 54 scene, and there was the Xenon scene, and then there was like, Mud Club, Danceteria, things of that nature, and other clubs, the Tunnel Club. But there were these underground clubs, right? And I would do clubs in abandoned school buildings, in their gymnasium, and their auditorium, and their cafeteria. We used to call them zombie clubs, right? But there was these other clubs uptown that were they were more than gay clubs. They were more than because downtown in the West Village there were all these queen clubs, where all these guys would dress up in outfits and do Broadway songs and stuff. And they were kind of fun. But the ones uptown were, black, Hispanic, everybody who the white queens wouldn't let into their club. You could go up there. And so that's where there was every flavor of everything was up there, not just gay. And it was, and these people were living who they were. And I think there's some, I don't have a TV, but there is some shows. I mean, that's the beauty of all of the video stuff that's out there. It's like you want to know a show about this or that, this, Amazon or HBO. That's what I love, and that's the beauty of America is this amazing diversity. We were all white. What's his name? Who wrote Cat's Cradle? I think it was in Cat's Cradle. Had this great story about where everybody was handicapped to a certain nadir level, and everything was gray. There wasn't black, wasn't white, it was just gray. And that's kind of Kurt Vonnegut. Thank you. Yep. Mutate. Thank you, Mutant. Kurt Vonnegut, that's our boy. I saw him speak at an anti-war rally, and he had there was this what was Dave's? There was this great guy who did the staging for every anti-war, anti-nuclear, anti-anything. He was an old anarchist, but one of the old guys, wore the suit, crumpled suit. He didn't have the leather jacket with the A, but he was just, he had the stage equipment, he had sound equipment, he had lights, and I would go with him. I met him. Adam Purple was his buddy, so Adam, you need to meet this guy. So, when we would do, people as different movements kind of that I was in started to percolate up, we'd bring his equipment in, and then when he would do stuff, we would bring people to his thing, and it was loads of fun. Um, um, and so I remember being on stage with Dave, and we were doing a thing for this group of folks. They wanted to, instead of having their down under club, they wanted to do something downtown, in along with the social movement. So we said fine. So we, I knew some people in the city. I got a little permit to put up a stage in a neighborhood basketball court off of 6th Avenue, and these guys could sing and dance like you could not friggin' believe. And the organized whoop-de-doo rainbow thing over there was over there. But as soon as we started doing our show, these guys did their show. It blocked 6th Avenue. It blocked everything. The cops came and just were like, and they were like watching it, and so they didn't like get all upset. They were just like, "Wow, this is good music." And that's the thing about art and creativity, is that it can move mountains. Where hate, fear, belief, not going to do much. Come over. Yep, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. You're such a cute little yo. You're the yo. Mm. And impulsive emotions and silly moods are the best part of our disruptive personalities. If we could stay on that instead of the anger and fear, um, that's where it'd be good. Anyway, so the next one I'm going to do is, I think, Sunday. I'm only doing this because it was raining hard, and I could come here and get out of the rain, and I knew the Wi-Fi was here, so I just wanted to say, hey, so Sunday, AM, and everyone has to be in that same impulsive, fun-loving, emotional mood with a silly self. That means you, yo-yo, if you do show up, you got to be nice, trying to get at us by this kind of, kindergarten impulse. It's not even impulsive. If it was impulsive, it might be interesting, but it's so banal. It's being dump your, anybody dumps you, buddy, they're the loser. They're the loser, so.
Yeah, just so you know.
Uh,
Yeah, I parked over here because that truck was there. There's the other part. Oh, so the other house was right. So the washer's open. I didn't know what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise I would throw it in. Yeah.
And you know, the other thing I do is we all have strange thoughts that come into our mind, and is a perfect example. Is you know, it's all the strangeness just comes in its mind and it puts it out, right? And instead of like thinking, well, do I like the way this makes me feel? Is this is this a positive thing? You know, and so all we need to do, you know, one of my teachers used to say, you know, and you know, good thoughts lead to good words, which lead to good actions, which lead to good deeds, which lead to good outcomes. So when you start off with rancid thoughts that bring on irrelevant words of meanness, um, yeah. So Sunday, everyone should show up with their feeling good self and silly mood self, and you know embrace, and that's what the cadre is best to do. Embrace each other, and whenever we a character, and that's what Yo-Yo is a character. Because Yo-Yo is not really personifying itself. I mean, we don't even know whether it's silicate or carbon. You know, it's just an it, and so until it is relevant, it's just an it. But within the construct of you know the cadre, it is a good training tool. Because if you can you can you know basically be relevant to anything. See that last Yo-Yo remark? He can't you know even show or hide. That's what Yo-Yo does. It doesn't show anything. It hides everything, right? And so Yo-Yo is actually a good presence. You know? It's an it, and yet that it is present all around us and every day. And instead of responding to it with fear, anger, hate, bile, we try to understand, which is hard because it doesn't show us anything and it hides everything. So it's hard to understand that. Its comments are so often left field that there is no relevance, and we don't get to connect to it because it is an it rather than everyone else here mutate is like straight up and just with that first feeling sharing about feeling fragile shows courage, shows insight, and our thoughts are real alone. Well, we can, yes, you know, we're swimming in this swimming pool of everybody else's thoughts. Of the media's thoughts, the history's thoughts, every you know belief structure thoughts. But if you're hearing me, Yo-Yo, if we go to our heart and see where our heart is coming from, you know. And I want to thank Mutate again because Mutate went straight to the heart and gave us a place to share and understand and empathize, right? Uh, I mean, anything that Yo-Yo says, it's again irrelevant, right? I don't think I ever said that I was in a picture with Albert Einstein. I said that I had a picture of Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and Steinmetz on the top of a construction platform of the Chrysler building when they were laying down the induction coil to make the Chrysler building the first commercially, um, you know, electrified or energized uh, public facility using Tesla's zero point energy. I don't think I ever said I had a picture of me and Albert Einstein because you're right. I'd have to be about 5 to have a picture of me being in a picture with him. So and again, I normally start these shows off with, "Hi, this is your Sensei Al Bob, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. And remember, this is just a show for entertainment. Don't believe anything I say. Go check it out." You know, isn't there something about when you use old capitals that it's like, just yes, I did this. Benjamin Franklin sold me that chick, right? Now there was a guy. I mean, he was ready to go. I mean, he understood everything the Greeks were ready to take off in rocket ships, but they were, pushed off the side of history of irrelevance because he couldn't make money. And that's, the Roman Empire was the empire of moneyed folk. Uh, hmm. Well, mutate. It's not that your emotions are raw. It's just they're there, and they are very palpable, and we can all empathize and feel them through the live chat. That is a great gift you're giving us, right? And we can be there for you. You know, compare that to you, Yo-Yo. You know, he's like, the biggest secret about life. It is not about us. We are stuck in this little, avatar of a bag of water, and it's like a prison cell. So we kind of can only reference it from our point of view through our limited 6 senses, right? And it can be a real addiction, and it can be a real, painting yourself into a corner. And Yo-Yo has really painted itself into a corner, and so Yo-Yo has no freedom, has no life, can only be this troll, But for us, it's good because it gives us a doorway into that um, limitation. So we don't have to paint ourselves into a corner, right? Because Yo-Yo has done it. Yo-Yo is like right in that corner over there and can't get out. All I can do is spew this infantile stuff that is irrelevant because there is no place for us to understand it. The only thing, the great blessing of Yo-Yo is that we can use it as a simulator to not engage our negative emotions, right? We can see it. We can poor Yo-Yo. No, not poor Yo-Yo. He's stuck himself in a corner again. So sorry, Yo-Yo. Uh, uh, now, that little statement by Yo-Yo there, going right to the minute of when I said something that I had a picture of myself with Albert Einstein, well, that makes me think you are a bot. You are silicate. Therefore, you have no control over yourself. You can just you'll be given a command. You're a slave. So you got to go to this place where it's really ridiculous. Again, though we can take a positive from this and say, oh, here we are. We got this ability to use this bot, this silicate, not even conscious entity, it as a simulator. So we can use it to expand our ability to be empathetic, loving, unconditionally connected to love's co-creation. And that's why that movie Forrest Gump is kind of interesting, because it shows us that we're all, what's that thing? Everyone's 8 people away from, having a baby with Mr. Bacon. Meaning we're all connected to this in our life. It's just whether we're aware of it. I mean, things go by us. I have some really good friends that are truly amazing, that it wasn't until years and years later that I meet them and we become friends. And then we start to realize that you were there too. I was there. I can't believe. And we're virtually standing next to each other. Meaning somebody over there was taking a picture of this part of the scene. They would have gotten a picture of both of us standing next to each other, but we wouldn't know each other for another 20 years. And that's how life is. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I like that mutate. Al Bob came up with a theory of relativity after watching John's stomach flapping while he was exercising, which is true. Uncle Fugness, when you say yo-yo, it makes things up John's Yoko. Yep. But he was in love with Yoko. Oh, Yoko. Now there's a guy. I knew him. I met him in, he lived in, what was the name of that place? Really interesting apartment house, because it took up a whole kind of a block, and you drove in, and there's a circle and a cupola over the front door, and you drove there. And very 19th century. What do they call that place? I forget the name. But I was living a few blocks away, and right on Broadway, where Broadway, 7th Avenue were kind of near each other, near Lincoln Center, there was this pharmacy. There were a lot of pharmacies in New York that had the pharmacy and had a soda fountain. The soda fountain kind of did more than, egg creams and milkshakes. It made sandwiches and breakfast and cheeseburgers, kind of like this place, but more interesting. And that place was really great, because you could go in there and have your breakfast like that. Meaning the guys behind on the grill, I mean, they had it, out in front of you within 4 or 5 minutes, easy, right? But you could stay there all day. And they had outside, there was a newsstand that had every kind of magazine. It had Foreign Affairs, it had every newspaper, it had the European Herald Tribune, it had the Chicago Tribune, it had the LA Times, it had everybody's, you name it, it had it. And that guy would let you take that magazine or newspaper and read it while you're having your breakfast in that pharmacy. Now, 99.9% of everybody would buy it on the way out. 1% would fold it back up and put it in the thing, and he would put it over the side, and that was the one he would give everybody who was going to go and have lunch or breakfast. Anyway, I was in there one time, and who was, just next to me but John Lennon, right? And he was just having breakfast like the rest of us. And I look at him like, hey, buddy, pass the salt. He did. And I'm like, eating my breakfast, and I kind of keep looking at him and go, wait a minute. I know people ask you all this time, but you look just like John Lennon. And he goes, well, that's because I am. And there wasn't a whole bunch of people there. So it was just like a conversation between him and me. And I said, oh, nice to meet you. I'm Al. And good to meet you. And we started talking about this and that. And then I said, well, I got to go pick up my boys. He goes, oh, you pick up your boys? What do you do? I said, I'm an electrician. I got crews. I got to get them going. He goes, well, I'm here pretty much every time, between now and, 11 a.m. This is kind of where you're fine. I enjoyed the conversation. Come back. I said, okay. So over the next 4 or 5 years, until I was in Europe or wherever I was next, I would, whenever I was at the time or was walking by there, and I looked in the window and there was, I go, hey, John, how you doing, buddy? And so, I never went to have dinner with him and Yoko at a restaurant or in his house or, what's the name of the place he lived in and got shot in front of? The Dakota, I think, might have been. Anyway, so yes, if you're aware, if you're conscious, if you are there in the moment, that's what happens. Oh, look, it's John Lennon. I could have not even looked at him and, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes. And my grandma loved me. Well, Forrest's mama was more than just his mama. She was Sally Fields, So I think Sally Fields is a much better actress than what's her name, who played Devil and Fauna, who gets all the awards. Yeah, they're right there. And I had a friend of mine, one of my boys. So most of my crews were made up of people who I'd see on the street about to do something stupid. And I'd say, what? Get over here. Come here. What is up with you? What are you going to go do? They go, hey, that guy, I'm going to go kill him. I said, no, you're not. I need to get this ladder upstairs. I'll give you $20. You will? Yeah. So they end up being my electrical helper. And if they were good, they would stick with me. And I had this guy his name was, he was German. And his name will pop into my, I have to visualize his face. I had another kid who in Brooklyn, and I was doing some work for my rabbi. This kid was going to go, he had a gun in his hand. He was going to go kill somebody. And he was about 14. I said, yo, get my way. What are you doing? I'm going to kill my dad. I said, no, you're not. I said, when's the last time you saw your dad? Oh, about a year or two ago. And why you want to kill him now? Oh, because he I said, no, he's not worth it. I need your help. Here, I need this stuff upstairs. Come on, give me a hand. I'll give you $20. Go up there. Anyway, that guy, he stayed with me for 5 years. And everyone called him Dog Boy because he was on my side. He was like right here all the time. And if you got too close, he started to growl at you. We were once building a restaurant down in Tribeca before it really hit. There was this place called Towers, which became that really fancy restaurant that you see on SNL. I don't know if they show it anymore. It'll pop into my mind. Anyway, back when it was Towers, where this old Jewish couple. The guy, he went to school to be a lawyer, didn't turn out too good, but his dad had this place forever, so he took it over when his dad did, and he inherited a whole chunk of what was Tribeca. Anyway, what's the name of that place when it became fancy and rich? Anyway, so we were turning this into the fancy and rich restaurant, and this guy comes in. He goes, "Who's doing this?" And I was the general GC, and that all my friends were, the carpenter. My buddy Willie, he was the carpenter. My buddy Jody was the plumber. My buddy, Oh, he had a very interesting name. He was a mason, you know, he was doing all the block. Anyway, and Gary was spray painting everything. So, you know, it was like a team effort. And we did a lot of nightclubs and restaurants and fancy people's lofts that way. And we all worked together. We all made money. It was, you know, we always had a great time. So anyway, we were working on this place. And who owns this place? I said, well, the owners aren't here, but, you know, I'm kind of the overseer at the moment. You know, if I wasn't here, that guy would probably say he was the overseer of the moment, or that guy, or that guy, or that guy. What do you want? So I'm going to build a restaurant around the corner. Can you come and take a look? I said, sure. You know, not today, but tomorrow. How about tomorrow? He said, okay. So it was on Reed Street, and I was living off of, you know, Hudson and Duane. And so, anyway, by that time, Dog Boy was living with me, you know, and he would actually sleep at, you know, I had a room for him with a bed. No, he didn't want that. He wanted to, like, somebody might come in here and try, you know, so he would like sleep at the foot of my bed. That's why people called him Dog Boy. Anyway, so this guy's there. The next day, we show up and we park in front of where this thing is. Oh, it's parking spot. You know, good. I can park here and no bus. Well, this guy comes out drunk. It's like 10 in the morning. He comes out drunk and starts yelling at me for taking, you know, get away. This is my parking spot. I said, where's your car? Because I've done, hey, remember me? You wanted me to take a look at this space, turn it into a restaurant. Oh, I don't remember. You know, he was drunk. He didn't remember. So he started just being belligerent. And he had, you know, a wannabe tough guy as his bodyguard, you know, so he could be belligerent and this guy would protect him, kind of. Anyway, so I just kind of got in this guy's face, you know, said, really? Are you drunk? It's 10 a.m. You know, you're not, you know, you're not much of a businessman if you're drunk on a weekday at 10 a.m. And he just got more belligerent. Anyway, so this guy, I see him coming, comes at me, and Dog Bowl just comes out of nowhere and plants, lays him down, one punch. And everyone on that street saw this happen. Everyone kind of knew who I was. I mean, Grandpa Stoll's shop was just a block away. I'd been part of this neighborhood, you know, for at least a good, you know, many years. And so that's, you know, and then after, you know, 80, when I got my master's license, I pretty much had women. I had a few guys, but mostly women because they were much better workers than men were. They were more meticulous, more, you know, referencing specifics, things we had to do. They didn't understand what they were doing. They come and ask me, hey, show me how to do this, or what do you want done with this, or how do you want that done? Whereas guys would, I know what I'm doing, and screw it up. And so, you know, by 1983, I really only had women working there. And then when I, you know, left New York in 88, I basically turned my whole business over to those women. And I would just come into town every now and then to sign, you know, documents. But they got everything, you know, and it changed all their lives. Now, over the years, it's, you know, 3 of them, you know, went and got off. They were the first women to get master electrician's license in New York. Anyway, so that's what life's about, being awake to it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
George Washington. Oh, I'm going to save that one. See, you're getting better, Yo-Yo. You know, that's pretty funny. Tell us the one when you played strip poker with Count Chocula and the Easter Bunny and George Washington. I can tell you a good Easter Bunny story. So I went to a comic book convention, and if you go back, and I actually made a YouTube about it. I mean, I brought this is back in the day when I could do it straight off my phone, and it was fun. These people were really great. They were passionate about everybody there. There were about 1,000 people in this hotel that were passionate about making movies, about doing comic books, about sci-fi, costumes, sets, lighting, everything, right? And they were wearing their costumes. They were showing off their stuff. They built sets in the hallways. It was great. And the top 3 floors of this hotel, different groups got suites up there. And so there was an Egyptian suite, there was a bunny suite, there was a Sylvan suite. There were all these suites, right? And they were all, you went up there, you had to be invited, meaning there was only one elevator that went to 4th, 5th, and 6th floor, 7th floor of the top floors. And you had to either go with somebody who had the card or have an invitation, because they had a guard there and he would card you in. Anyway, so I went up there and I went into the Egyptian suite, because that's the person because I read their palm. And he said, "Oh, you got to come up and read everyone's palm," which I did. And they had best of food, a great open bar. And, I just took a little taste. The guys had Patty's Irish whiskey. I said, "Wow, you have Patty's." "Oh, yeah, best whiskey." So I made, a little glass of that, and I drank just one glass all night long. And I read all these people's palms. So everybody from all the different suites were, "Oh, you got to come into our suite." And so these 2 girls came in bunny suits and brought me into the bunny suite. And you can guess what the bunnies were doing. And these girls, they really liked my beard. They kept playing with my beard and trying to get amorous. And I said, "Girls, I'm a little too old for this." "Oh, you're never too old for this." And I said, "Well, you'd have to give me some kind of estrogen, or something, some hormone to, I'm quite aroused by your attractiveness, but I'm more interested in the anthropologic elements of what the heck you guys, that you can only get off on being in bunny outfits. What is this?" Because every time no, I got to keep the suit on. And it's like, so there's a little story about bunnies. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. No, but I've been asked to be Santa Claus a few times. No, basically, I just want to be me. I just want to be me. And oh, hey Eden, good to see you, bud. And what has been going on in your day? Anything exciting? So our friend here, Yo-Yo, what do you think? Do you think Yo-Yo is carbon or silicon? I have a sense that it's carbon. It's just a bot. As if he was, or if he was more than an it had a gender. It would be sad to think that Yo-Yo was a human, that it had to continually be this so in a corner. But it's a blessing to the contrary, because Yo-Yo is a great example of what the hidden hand does, you know. So, boo, boo, boo. Fish, good to see you, bud. Yeah, there's Eden. Oh, hmm. So we're in it for about an hour, 10 minutes. So does anybody want to do a guided meditation? Let's see if but it would be interesting to know whether it's silicate or carbon. Carbon means be semi, one of our relations, and is, being dominated by a demon. But the demon is sad, I think. Okay. So everyone put themselves in a comfortable position, right? And close your eyes. Don't look at the screen. You don't have to. Actually, you don't have to type in anything because you can communicate with each other, right? Shamanically. Okay. So I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and as I do, you're all going to go into a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation. And 1, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. And by doing so, you have to breathe 20% in, more than you normally do, right? And then you have to breathe out 30% more than you normally do. And then in, and because to do this, your conscious mind, that squirrel in your head, that has all these erroneous thoughts, um, you know, it's focused on your breath. So, and 1, in a deep, deep, deep state of relaxation, your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. All the demons, the spirits of mischief are gone because the squirrel who is controlled by them is asleep. The squirrel that's in your Rolodex of your mind, sleep. Conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. And as you're breathing that 20% in, your diaphragm is lifted, your lungs expand, your aisle of your lungs dilate, and you're breathing now in the prana, the spirit of Father Sky. And it's going throughout your whole body because it goes into your lungs, your heart pumps in blood, your blood iron rich. It swirls through all the veins and capillaries, and you experience the connection between Father Sky, prana, and your chi, where your feet meet Gaia, and you are connected. So you're no longer distracted. Evil is a non-existent thing. It's an irrelevant thing. Good and evil don't exist. And we flow. As our blood flows through our veins, our arteries, our capillaries, and instead of blub, 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 it swirls, right? And there's a swirl against the walls of your veins, and inside of that swirl, there's another swirl going the other way. Inside of that swirl, there's one going this way, creating shamanically a auric field of electric current that is a Tesla defined it as scalar. There's Hertzian with X and Y. scalar is 16 different dimensions, not just two. Yep. And that's because, why our brain is limited. It's limited by our senses. Our senses, our eyes, our ears, our taste buds, our nose, our smell, our touch, is only 0.06% of the universe. So we view everything from a 0.06%. The other 99.04% we don't even connect to. And that's why we're only using 10%. And one, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Your conscious mind now is totally asleep. The little squirrel is going away. So the contact of the evil stick that's stuck into the spokes of life is gone. Anyway, and the bottom line about your traveling through your conscious to your super conscious mind and your subconscious mind, because the limited conscious mind of your six senses is what yo-yo exists in. And that's why yo-yo is a good example. It's a good example of the non-existent self, because the only thing that truly exists is love's co-creation. And unless you can be in that state, you're not existing. You're irrelevant. So too, you're in a deep, deep, deep state of conscious relaxation. Your conscious mind is totally focused on your breath. You have connected yourself with the prana and channeled that energy through your blood to your chi and its connection to Gaia. And now you're in the flow of the universe. And you look into every cell in your avatar, in your blood, and you see mitosis occurring, the cell splitting. And in that, as the cell splits, you see the mitochondria, like little lightning bolts all around. And within that canyon is love's co-creation. You look in there and you see this light, and that light is not incandescent light. Incandescent is a Luciferian thing, just like yo-yo. And it shows a shadow, right? And this is photonic light, and this is the light of prana. And so you take that light and you illuminate your imaginary mirror where we have dreams at night. And you take that light and you shine it into your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind isn't a scary place. It is simply a library of your soul's experiences, right? And it shows the vehicle for you to ascend to your higher self, where love's co-creation is, rather than being painted into a corner and left to suffer for all eternity, which is only an illusion that you put in front of yourself. So, in reality, there are no prophets, because you can see all the truth within your Akashic record, right? And it's your Akashic record, nobody else's. No one's got control of it but you. And this is what is known as transcendental meditation, right? Well, that's all you got to do. Breathe that 20% in and that 30% out. And just let it go. The truth of the breath. Yep. And this truth is in virtually every culture, you know. So,
What?
and so, in every day, in every way, we take the piece of the earth and we make it stronger through love's co-creation, not through our ego. And when we look into our, so we've illuminated our subconscious mind, we see we're walking into the library and there are all these books and there's a big fireplace and there's this blue flame. The blue flame is the flame of the eternal flame. And in front of that are some nice, comfy chairs, lounge chairs. And then in front of that is your reading table. And behind that is your reading chair. And you sit down and coming from above is photonic light, lighting the table without any shadows. And next to you, to your left, is your librarian who brings you your Akashic record, your knowledge. Next to the left of your librarian is your animal totem. Totems are there to tell you a story that will give you insight to those things that are just outside your range of understanding. And to the left of your animal totem is your guardian angel. Always got your back, always to protect. So you can be given information that might scare you because you don't understand it, but your guardian angel is always there to protect you. So you're sitting at your guardian angel. It's got your back. Animal totem's there to tell you the truth in the story, and your librarian places in front of you your Akashic record, big thick book, gold outline. You open it up to the middle of the book where there's 2 empty pages, and in front of you there is a screen that appears, and around that screen are 28 little screens. And what I want you to do is take your left hand and put it in the left side of the screen and your right hand in the right side of the screen, and you lean in and you evacuate, you eliminate all of the fear, all the anger, all the hate, everything that is yo-yo. Come on, yo-yo. Evacuate. Let that demon out. Put it in the book. All of those demons we have, put it in the book. So once it's on the page of the Akashic record, you can see it and go, wow, look at that. It's no big deal. Why should I be scared of that? You see the inabilities, the lacking, the without power, and the 28 screens will give you different dimensional points of view of what you're looking at. So you can see all the different angles of that anger you had and that fear. And this is a good thing to do just before you go to sleep. Take all of that crap of the day and put it into your Akashic record, right? So, you're leaning into and you're evacuating, eliminating, getting rid of all the fear, all of the anger, all of the hatred, all of the self-loathing, all of those things that keep you stuck, all of those things that put you in a corner, all of those things that make you like yo-yo. And yo-yo is a great gift to us because in a singular character, we can see our limitations. We can see the thing we don't want to be, and we can right now, right here, this second, eliminate that from our spirit self, right? Then you close the book, boom. And you want to go, wow, I feel so great. Oh, this is really amazing, right? So, I want you to look around and see your library and all the books, all the information you have access to now by simply breathing in 20% and breathing out 30%. Breathe out 30% because once you breathe out all that you can, it makes it a lot easier to breathe in that 20%, right? And if you did that 4 or 5 times a day, you would be well balanced. You'd be fine. You'd be feeling good. So that's where it's at in guided meditation. Now go back through, I got almost 700 shows on this channel. And there's probably a good 100 to 200 guided meditations that you can take part of. And what each one I have shamanic. Every show I do, I prepare myself shamanically to put the energy of the show there in the YouTube. So you can go back and be part of it, right? And see exactly it. And and get everything out of it as if you were there live, right? Yeah, this is true. And everything is timing, right? So it's your time when it's your time to go further. And the other thing I'm going to show you. So to the left are your guides, and to the right are the doors. You ever read The Doors to Perception? Um, Read that book, and that'll explain. And there's another esoteric motif called the nine doors of perception. So anyway, there's nine doors to your right, and one is always open. And that doorway goes to your superconscious mind, and that's where God lives inside of you. God is love's co-creation, right? So get up, walk over to that open door, go through that event horizon. Bingo! This is your superconscious mind. There's the bridge of the id, taking us from our subconscious to our superconscious mind. And go over it. We get at the top. We're looking down into our superconscious mind. Now that is our sanctuary of our own choosing, right? So see it as you want to see it. And you got this overview. You're overstanding your superconscious mind, and it's like that sanctuary that Superman used to go to. But it's yours. You pick it out, right? There's certain motifs in it. There is like a big meadow, picnic meadow. There's a pond of the universe collective, you know. There is the tree of knowledge, the tree of life. There is the gazebo, which you go up and ask questions and get a more panoramic view of your superconscious mind. Over to the east, there's a path that goes up to the circus. And then behind the circus, there's a hill that goes up to our house. And our house is Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, that's in Pennsylvania, but really big. And it is over the doorway. It is the Oracle of Delphi. And over the door, it says, "Know thyself." So I want you right now to just go into your sanctuary of your own choosing and experience it like a vacation. You know, I'm going to sit here and meditate while you go look at it, and you're going to go on this journey for a good couple of weeks. And you can do anything: go bowling, play tennis with God, canoe with love's co-creation. Do whatever you want, bud and girl and guy, everybody. Go on. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil, as it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be, world without amen. And in every day and every way we take the peace of the earth and make it stronger. Aho. Let love's co-creation go into all our hearts. See it clearly. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners and now and the hour of our death. As it was in the beginning, is now, ever shall be. Lena. Take a look at this new jazz nose. And I want you to kind of go into him and see whether he is a silicate bot or a carbon lost boy. have a little conversation with you. I call him Yo-Yo because he yo-yos. See what you can do with him. Thank you, Lana. Good to see you. Yeah, it was. You know, it was right on when the Perseus meteor shower was happening. So I didn't see too many meteors. So, Lena, we were doing a guided meditation. Were you on before you came into the chat? No, you can stick around. Elena, before you go, I'm going to do a live chat on Sunday, around noonish, um, Eastern Standard Time here in America. Sunday. Good to see you, though, girl. Hope all is well. We all care for the cadre, each and every one of us. Well, it's okay to browse, but when you have a separation like that, that's, deep, you know, if you can go into state and go and look at the relationship in your Akashic record from the minute you met that person and look at it, and you got those 28 little other degrees to look at all the different angles and see what it was. The other thing you can do is go into, over the bridge of your id into your superconscious mind of your sanctuary of your own choosing and go find a nice little place in the meadow. Put down your picnic blanket and sit down and talk with your ex. Get to a place where you can have some closure, right? Get a good sense of um, what that relationship was, what was the best about it, what were the obstacles. And so you don't have to jump right into something else. You can prepare yourself for something better. So that's a good way to, actualize any relationship, see what the best is about it and what's uncomfortable about it. And Yo-Yo, is a great example of that for us as a demonstrator model, as a simulator, because, it's a real challenge to get something positive out of yo-yo, except for the fact that it's right in front of us, a perfect example of humanity's sorry self. I'm always here for you, Mute. And anybody who wants to talk privately can get a hold of me at the dudeawake42 at Gmail. Now I give this away because Yo-Yo is already gravitated to that spot and leaves even more interesting things, which, I don't really get rid of. I just kind of put over to the side. And that's how we should deal with all our unhappy thoughts. Don't get rid of them. You just put them off to the side. Don't focus on that. Focus on what's better, What's the forward movement going to take you to? That's better, you know? So, like I said, anybody wants to come talk to me at Gmail, that's the place I'll be at. And this Sunday, come to the chat. And, I love you all. Okay. So, about a minute, I'll sign off. I didn't reply to all your emails. Who would waste my time? No, I kept them though. I looked at them. I replied to a few, and I basically said that I felt sorry for you. I pitied you, and I hoped you would find professional, assistance. I think and then you may have a cousin who's not that either. So anyway, I have no idea. I don't really spend much time with yo-yos. Energy. So what are you going to prove, yo-yo? Who cares? We don't care. I can't speak for anybody but myself. I don't care about your vile disposition, because I really think you're a silicon, that you're just somebody's algorithm roaming through this, scene. Anyway, I care about you all. And I hope you get some professional help. You seem to need it. And fish, keep on smiling. Mutate, you keep on growing. And everyone else, thanks for showing up. Give me some more thumbs up. And hey, there's 09. Good to see you, 09. Like I said, it's, yo-yo is a great simulator. It's a great tool for us, the cadre, to be our better self rather than our lower self. Yep. Just have to smile, transmute, and continue forth. Yep. Moving forward. Yep. And you can't have any expectations. I want to do all kinds of things, and I try to get people, come on, kids, let's go do this. And I have to remember that I've already done it. That, come on, kids, let's have a show in the barn, So we have to develop this alternative aesthetic. Now it's the old new aesthetic. You go back to all, the indigenous folk, and they speak about this all the time. The Hopis prophecy, is deep in all of this. We must transmute, right? And that's where we're in this time of transmutation, meaning these aren't end times, these are just changing times, that's all. Anyway, so that is the bottom line. We just have to love with love's co-creation. Move forward. Oh, I mean, so, the 1940s movies with, what's her name? The girl who played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland. She made a bunch of teenage movies with Mr. Mahoney there, or Eddie Murphy, or whatever that guy's name is, the little guy. And they were always putting on a play in the barn, in their school, in the here. Come on, let's do something exciting, like that's what I was talking about. And to, make it a really poor slur. Yep. Illusion will fall. And Yo-Yo's a good example of it. Before he can finishes anything on the chat, it fails. Well, it was fun. If I can find another place that was as easy to go online, we'll do that again. I'm doing this as whenever I can. 2 or 3 times a week is about what I can do, because I got to drive someplace that has Wi-Fi, and that'll let me sit here for an hour and 42 minutes, 43 minutes. Yo-Yo, I feel sorry for you, buddy. Yep, exactly, Fish. And Yo-Yo is, like I said, our little bot simulator. Is that constant little droll background noise of the diminishing presence of the illusion of the shadow. As we live clear in the photonic light of love's co-creation, where there are no shadows, it just is. There is no lie, because without a shadow there can't be a lie. Right? It is just what it is. So everything I say is just what it is. It's not a lie. I'm not trying to make you believe anything. I keep saying, hey, don't believe anything I say. Go check it out. These are, that's what I am a griot. And a griot tells a story to give you an understanding. Meaning, if a Yo-Yo didn't exist on the live chat, I'd somehow have to invent it, because it actually does a great blessed characteristic of the illusion that we can see right in front of us. We don't have to, Is that illusion there? Is it there? No, it's right there. There it is. You is it. Yo-yo. So true, '09. It's and that's why Yo-Yo is like he's good. He's part of the cadre that is giving us perspective. We all need perspective. And it keeps us breathing in illusion, right? I'm breathing, when we go into state, when we breathe 20% more and we bring in the Akashic record, the energy of prana, you know, that's what dislodges the illusion. Why is it bad to choose someone? You know, I was telling someone the other day that, they were talking about something. Well, you're prejudiced. Well, I'm not prejudiced. I like black people. No, prejudice is meaning your belief that this is this and this is that, where it really isn't. It's all the above. Um, Choosing and it's just a momentary choice of the mental gymnastics. Going left instead of going right, going right instead of left, and it's all good. Mm. Yo, there is no decoder ring. The only decoder ring the cadre has is unconditional love, to to breathe in the prana, ground in the chi, and serve love's co-creation. That's the only thing
Well, hi, how are you
that is
guys
our
today?
decoder ring.
You guys all ready?
To go back at the myriad of video shows I've done, it's like throwing get yourself a dartboard, and it's got numbers on it, right? So you throw the dart and it hits 200. Well, go look at the 200th one, right? Throw it again, it's 43. Go look at the 43rd one. That's the best way to leave it up to. It's like the magic 8 ball. Yep. I mean, I would say that is the best way to look at all the past shows. Dartboard, darts, throw it, and then get yourself a little notebook. 200 is about this, and then tell other. Oh wow, get your favorite 10 or 20 or 40 or 50, and put it on your playlist, and tell people, hey, go look at this one. Anyway, ooh, look at that. 4 hours 44 minutes, 4:44. It's 1:44 and 44 seconds. Okay, it's a good synchronistic moment. So fish As you go to work, I'm going to go out into the sun. It stopped raining. The sun has come out. I'm going to go out and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. My love, so come and check. Get more people. Let's see how many people we can get this Sunday. Sometime between 11:30 and 12, we'll start it. I'll be there for a good hour and a half, give or take. And I love you all. And that's the best thing I can go out on. I love you all. You too, Yo-Yo. I love you too. I love you, Yo-Yo. It's true. Oh, Yo-Yo. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I know. Come on, Yo-Yo. Smile.